Well, here we are in West Texas. A little ferry flight mission. This is your captain speaking. And I'm gonna do this little ferry flight mission to you. We're gonna deliver this Cessna 172 Skyhawk from Fort Stockton, Texas to Pecos, outside of Pecos, Texas. And it's a little ferry flight mission, but I'm gonna do this because this is my hometown. This is where I grew up. There ain't nothing out here but some badass mother truckers. And I found this little, this is I-10 right here. This is I-10. I-10, it goes all the way from Florida to LA. It goes through Fort Stockton. This is where I grew up. Right in there. Right over here. That house right there. So, yep. Now I'm a big, rich fame. Well, I'm not rich, but I'm a pilot, and I've been working on some stuff. Hey, did that change? What the heck just happened? I thought I was going over here. What happened to that? Well, there you go. That just goes to show you. These things change over time. You know, somebody else must have took that job. Luckily, I can still do the Fort Stockton. My grandfather used to teach school there in Pyote. Alright, well, we'll take this one before it. Alright, we're going all the way to, see where we're going to. What town is that? What town is this? I guess they'll tell us. Let's see, we need to be sure and follow this. Come in, cross over the... We'll cross over the landing strip, the runway. Cross over it, come around here, and then come in for landing. That's the flight pattern they want you to take. And what town is that? Near Midland. We're driving all the way, or flying all the way up near Midland. I got family up there in Odessa, Midland. Mr. Holland. Okay. We're going to accept this mission. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's accept. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Dang it. Did it already go away? No? Come on now. That's crazy. Now this one's back. I wonder why that is trip. Well, I thought we were going to Midland. Now we're going to... It's crazy. Every time I... See? Guess we're flying to Midland. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. Alright, we're going to wait for it to load down here in the corner. I used to make this drive about 85 miles. Took about an hour and 20 minutes. Drive it all the time. I've driven that trip up there 100 times. and I'm gonna fly it. Oh, this is a nice little aircraft we're delivering. This isn't a Cessna, this is a... It's a nice little plane. Alright. Need to get over here and remove this engine covers. Remove these chocks. If we can get under there. I don't know how they want us to remove those chocks. Oh. Remove pig toe cover. Where's that? Oh yeah. Okay, now we can enter. Alright, I don't know how to start this one. I don't know the startup procedure. We could go through the startup procedure. Where is it at? It's yeah, right here. But we'll just have we'll just start it up.
Captain, thanks for being available. I'm Jennifer, your hangar manager.
Okay.
What we need to fly back to SkyWest Inc. is this freshly revised DA of 40NG.
Okay.
The owner
SkyWest
had to get
Inc.
his aircraft repaired over there. Now that it's fixed,
He needs someone fly back. I got you. I'm the man for the job.
His name's John Holland, and he is waiting at the destination to pick it up.
Gotcha.
Treat this beauty like it's your own. See you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I'll treat it like it's my own. We'll go to Vegas. Alright, announce radio taxi. Release parking brake.
1416 is taxiing to runway 12.
Increase some throttle. This is my hometown right here. Reduce throttle. Fort Stockton, Texas. I gotta deliver this here airplane. Gotta fly it up to Midland. Look at this. This is Fort Stockton. You ain't seen nothing this beautiful before. I grew up right here. Look at that mesa out there. Yep, that sure is Fort Stockton. Look at that mesa. Man. Making me homesick. This is sure enough Fort Stockton. You know, this is all GPS satellite images. So this is all these airports, the terrain, the mountains, everything, the buildings. It's as true as it is if you looked on Google Maps. If you went out to the Fort Stockton, the airport, same one here where I'm at, you'd see the exact same buildings, the same scenery. Look at that, that's Fort Stockton. So we're going to stop at the hold short point. Which is up here. Gotta follow the instructions of the airport. You're about to see beautiful Fort Stockton once we get up in the air. I grew up here. I can't believe that. They have a mission. That's what it looks like too. Just like that. Well, it better look like that. The satellite took a picture of it. Look at that. Fort Stockton. This is a nice plane we're going to be flying. Somebody's rich. It's okay, I'll deliver it for him. It's a job. Need to make some money. Yeah, you know, you want to skip and go to, skip this taxiing. You can go ahead and do that, but you won't get paid for it. They'll dock you them experience points. Yep. I'm just an old redneck from Fort Stockton trying to make a living delivering these planes. We dip a lot of Copenhagen out here in Fort Stockton. A lot of ranchers out here in Fort Stockton. You know how many cows are out there? Millions. A lot of cattle, a lot of sheep too, a lot of sheep. Alright, here's our hold short point. This is your redneck captain from Fort Stockton speaking. We will be taking off from Fort Stockton Airport, flying into SkyWest Incorporated. That is the airport there up in Midland. Let's announce our takeoff.
Kilo Foxtrot Sierra Tango traffic. Time in November 81416. Taking off runway 12. North departure. Kilo Foxtrot Sierra Tango.
Okay. Made our announcement. Now I'm just gonna take one little break here because this is gonna be a long trip. Well, this is about a hour and 20-minute drive, 85 miles up there to Midland, Odessa. I've driven it, meet with my grandfather and my grandparents 100 times. I can tell you that road right now, like the back of my hand. We're gonna be flying it today. Taking off from Fort Stockton. But before I go, I'm going to hit this weed. Because I'm a pilot. Hey, you got to take a little hit of weed and get you a little nip of moonshine. We're Fort Stockton. Everybody wants their captain stoned. Right? I mean, you gotta have fun. Is anybody else in here with me? Nope, just by myself. Just on me. See? I'll spray some air freshener in this guy's new plane that he bought that I'm delivering. Smoking weed in his smoking weed in his new plane that I'm delivering. Alright, took a little nip of moonshine. I'm ready to fly a plane. Okay. You gotta get ready for these. It's like a, you know, it's like actually flying. And it's gonna take the exact time it would take you if we'd gotten this airplane and did this. So, and you gotta be, you gotta constantly be paying attention. You can't just fall asleep in there. You're always, leveling the aircraft, making sure you're staying on track. So you always gotta be paying attention. So you can't just, you know, play around while you're up there flying. And be rolling joints and you know, hitting the bottle. So we get all that out of the way. Alright, we're ready to go. Take a couple hits and some good weed. Release our parking brake. And we'll start to roll here. Remember, we're delivering this airplane to Mr. Holland up in Midland. So we need to take care of it. This is Fort Stockton. And you're about to see it from the air. I just want to say one thing. I've probably been out in those deserts all over this whole town. I've looked for rattlesnakes and critters of all kind out there in those deserts. It's just really cool to be able to take off from this airport. Yeah, that's Fort Stockton. Out back that way is oh, what's the name of that stupid town that I can't remember now? There's, oh man, makes me homesick. Alright, well, we'll see it from there. Here we go. We want to add some throttle. Full throttle right here. Take my foot off the brake. Add full throttle. Use your rudder pedals. Right here, use your rudder pedal to keep it straight. We're looking for about 55, 60 miles an hour. Right there, it will take off. Okay. Yep, there's mesas all around Fort Stockton. They all have different names. You see that one straight ahead? We're going to climb to 3,500 feet. Oh, this thing is nice. It's a nice little plane. It handles real nice. Now we're going to climb to 4,300. So let's trim it up so we're climbing. Okay. Climb slowly. There's a mesa there. There's the mesas. I've hiked all the mesas. Okay, we need to turn here. I want to look out that way. I've been out there a lot. Turning, we're still climbing. What's our, yeah, we're still climbing. Oh man, I've been hiking out there in those mesas. There's all kinds of stuff right here. It's crazy to be flying over this. And there's Midland way over there. So if we look back, there's Fort Stockton. Down on through up there. those mountains, little mountains way out there. You see those out there all the time. That's I-10 interstate. It goes right over the top of the town. See how it skirts the top of the town? That's I-10. It goes right around. You can get off I-10 on either end of town, and then you can get off in the town, but I-10 just goes right north of town there. I used to get on the interstate at one end of town on my motorcycle, on my Harley, drive that interstate all the way around, like fast, 120 miles an hour to the other end of town, and then get off. That's awesome. I'll have to do a video flying around the town and surrounding area. Yeah, I need to do a video just flying all over West Texas. That's my stomping ground. That's where I grew up. Been all over. I know this part of Texas like the back of my hand. We need to get back on track here. We're way off course. Not bad, just need to start heading back towards Midland instead of San Angelo. Okay, we're still gaining altitude here. We don't need to. We need to trim it back down. We're too high. Out that way is San Angelo. Abilene's way over there. Sonora's just right over there. Ozona. My fellow Texans know what I'm talking about. Right here we're going to be going over a town, Iran. If you're not from West Texas, you don't know how to pronounce it. Iran is right over here. There's two ways to get to Midland, Odessa from Fort Stockton. You take highway up to Monahans. That's the normal way. That's not the weirdo freak way. That's the way my grandfather always took, and that's the main way we mostly took. I forget the number right off the top of my head right now. Take the highway from Fort Stockton up to Monahans. You get on the interstate outside of Monahans. The 20. Or the highway, I mean. I'm sorry. I think that it's the 20 that goes well, now I'm getting all mixed up. Yeah, it'd be the 20. Because 10 doesn't go through there. 10 goes to Fort Stockton, like I was telling you about. Then you take Fort Stockton up to Monahans. Outside of Monahans, you get on the I-20. The 20 takes you up to, that's like the normal fast way. There's a slower back roads way. It goes through Iran. Take another highway outside of Fort Stockton, go in another direction. Go to Iran and another little town. And that's kind of a back roads way. A little bit slower. Kind of a back roads highway. So it's a little bit slower. But some people say it's faster. Actually, it is faster because you're kind of cutting a different angle. You're going to kind of taking more of a direct route rather than going up to Monahans and then cutting over. Go through Iran. But we've gone through that way many times also. But kind of the faster, more normal route. is the Monahans to the 20. Now going that route, you go through a little town called Grand Falls. Give me some comments if you know what I'm talking about. Man, I just love the little town of Grand Falls. And what's that other town? Oh my gosh. My Texans are going to be kicking me, getting on me. Gosh dang it. Can't always think of everything right when you want to. But Grand Falls, and there's another town right next to it. You go through both of them, but those towns have, like, if you look on the, you know, in Texas, I don't know how it is in other states. I haven't really noticed it, to be honest with you. Sometimes they show it. It's the population. I guess some other states they might. But when you go through a town in Texas, when you enter a town in Texas, it'll have a green sign with the number on it. It'll be the population of that town. And Grand Falls and Royalty. See, if I just say it in natural conversation, it just rolls off my tongue. That other town next to Grand Falls is Royalty. Two small little towns. You got to drive through them if you ever go through there. Just quintessential West Texas town. But yeah, going from Monahans to Fort Stockton, you'll pass through Royalty and Grand Falls. Very close, two little communities together. But I believe the population sign when you enter the Grand Falls, it might say, I believe it's like 410 or something like that. But my grandfather used to always say, you know, every time we pass a sign, that sign says 410, but there ain't that many people here. There ain't half that many people. Every single time we pass through there. Okay, so I've been talking. Let's look at our surroundings here. This is West Texas. The Permian Basin. This used to be filled with water. It used to be an inland sea way back in the Permian era, hundreds of thousands of years ago. Comment if you know exactly when that was, how long ago the Permian era was. But yeah, this place, this whole area, how flat it is, there's nothing there. They used to be all filled, it was an inland sea. When I was walking out in the desert, in these deserts right here, walking out around looking for critters and rattlesnakes, you'll find seashells all over out in the desert. Just dry, bone-dry desert. You will find seashells, all kind of little tiny seashells, white seashells, bigger ones, little spiral ones, little snail looking. Just out in the middle of the desert, hiking these mesas out here. See those mesas out there? All kinds of little terrain features and all kinds of stuff out here in North Texas. But anyways, like I said, this is the Permian Basin. During the Permian area, this was an inland sea full of water. Like I said, you'll find seashells walking out in the desert. But that's also led to underground here is big time oil. A lot of oil derricks and rigs. That's what all those square plots of bare dirt you see out there. Those little roads you see that lead to a square, see those empty square plots? That one right there below the plane. That's an oil rig down there. An oil derrick. All over, every one of those is an oil rig. Pump jack. We call them pump jack, oil derrick. Every single one of those. You drop through here on the highway down the road. See that highway down below us? You drive down this road, you'll see just nothing. This whole place is filled with every single one of them white dots down there in the pump jack. Everywhere, all along the roads. Some places are just filled with them. Some areas are just filled with them. You see over there, I think, some areas are more sparse, but dang, we're 10,000 feet up in the air. We need to start kind of heading down. Let's get back here to our view. Man, I just love West Texas. See, we've been climbing for the last, I haven't even been paying attention. We're going over a lake right here, as you can see. We're going to start, I'm going to start trimming this down. See all them little plots right here? All these are here. Those are all old derricks. Pump jacks. Or maybe, some of them maybe old rigs. That little squiggly creek that runs through there. Probably dry. Probably dry as a bone. But it's ancient. It's a remnant of an ancient, waterway, but I guarantee that thing is dry as a bone. There ain't no water in that thing. Look at all them oil derricks. Look at all of them. Oil, natural gas, oil, natural gas. We're going over a lake here. Let's take a look at it. We are slowly dropping, it looks like. See, this is what you want to look at right here. 100. That black bar is going up. That means we're slowly going to start gaining altitude. So I need to trim back down. Trimming it down. If you look down in the bottom right, you'll see trim. That trim, that means it's a fine-tune adjustment. You trim it until you don't have to keep pulling on the yoke up or down. Okay, you look down below it, you have a, I don't know what this is, probably a man-made reservoir of some sort for these, these things, they use a lot of mud. And they need mud and water, and they run it through that drill, that pipe that they're drilling. And so you'll see man-made water thing. Sometimes, I don't know if that's what that is. Skywest Inc. up there, Midland. See, this is a straight shot, obviously, as the bird flies, or as the plane flies in this case. And you can see over there, the bottom right, our altitude is falling. Nice and slow, not too. See. Look right here. Oh, right there. Just slightly below. Just got a nice little descent. And like when you're in an airplane, you're flying somewhere, commercial, and you hear the pilot that, you're like halfway there or something, you're not even close to being there, and they're saying, oh, we're starting our descent. Well, they take about half the distance climbing, almost half, and then they go a little bit level, but shortly after they're descending. They're either climbing or descending. Of course, a longer flight, you'll be flying level for a lot longer, but most people don't fly, well, I guess you do. You fly long distances. Look at all those. Look at all those pump jacks, oil derricks. We got to deliver this guy safe. What is this thing right here? What's going on? We got a caution. Turn that off. I don't know what that is. We're not, maybe we need to slow our engine RPM down a little bit. Usually 2300 is where they want you. See, we're really dropped the engine RPM down to about 2300, and now we're really dropping altitude, as you can see right here. And that's fine for a little bit. 2300, and at a certain airspeed and altitude it will level out. But I want to start trimming it up just a little bit. So you see the nose slowly start coming up. That means we won't lose altitude so quickly. Still falling pretty good. Welcome, this is Fort job. We're flying from Fort Stockton to Midland. I grew up in Fort Stockton. Way back there. Way back there. Flying up to Midland. Yeah, there's not a direct highway that goes from Fort Stockton to Midland. These are just back roads going out to oil fields, oil derricks. And maybe dead bodies, or who knows. I mean, this West Texas is vast and endless. You know, they talk about burying people out in the desert and you know, outside Las Vegas. They say, you know, how many bodies are buried out there? Probably some. You know, there's a little country road out here. You know, there's a few people that live out here. You'll see a few things here and there, but this is nothing. This is desert. There's nothing to here but oil. That's what I was telling you earlier. I don't even know if I got around to saying that. But because this was a sea, an inland sea, hundreds of thousands of years ago, there's oil under here. Other than that, this is the desert. What's our altitude? We need to pay attention here. We've been dropping for a while. We're down to 4,600. This is about where I want to be, 4,500. So we need to start leveling and trim us out. I want to keep it around 43, 4,500. Put the nose where you want it, and then see what happens. We're dropping, so we need to come up. Trimming it up. 48, okay. Let's put it where we want it. See, it's still coming up. A little too much. Now we're just fine tuning it, just little clicks. Just one click at a time on your trim. Crossing over some sort of body of water, pond or something up here. See that? There's nothing right there. There ain't even rattlesnakes out there. Trust me. I know what rattlesnake areas look like, and those aren't there. I've hunted all kinds of areas just like this. Alright, look at our altitude, we're still dropping. We're about 40, let's go back here. Okay, our trim is keeping us right about 4,500. Kind of got off course here, that's alright. It's basically a straight line. You ever got a road here under us? Or what is that? More roads out to nowhere except a oil rig, pump jack. Roads to nowhere except pump jacks. That's the name of my book. Road to nowhere except a pump jack. And most people wouldn't even know what a pump jack was. No, I forgot to set the timer. That way I could time the flight. Definitely quicker than the hour and 20 minutes. Actually, I never told my grandfather about whenever he let me borrow his nice car. He always drove a Lincoln Town car. He had a couple of them through the years. Sometimes he'd want us to take it up to Odessa or something, pick up his brother, whatever. There were occasions where he'd say, "Here, take the car and do this." But man, a Lincoln Town car, that is the nicest ride you'll ever ride. The suspension is like driving on clouds. And that thing will haul ass, man. I mean, that thing, nice car. Nice car. But I'd haul ass in that thing, and I'd make it to Odessa in an hour. Still trim up a little bit. I don't want to drop so much. Yep, definitely quicker than even the hour that it took speeding in my grandfather's Lincoln. West Texas. I don't know how beautiful this is until you see up here. We're getting closer to the city. See, we're getting further and further away from. Look at all those. And if you see one right there. There's a pump jack down in that one. Some of them are empty. Some of them will have a pump jack on them. Sometimes the pump jack won't be working. Sometimes the pump jack will be working. Or a lot of these are just empty. They've already sucked them dry, or they had nothing there to begin with. But some of them, if you look, some of them you'll see a pump jack. If we get closer, we are descending in altitude. As we get closer, you can see. Looks like there's one right there. Yeah, see right there. Pump jack. But as I was saying, we're getting further and further away from my stomping grounds. I mean, this whole place is my stomping grounds, but we're getting up to the city. See, Odessa Midland, when we went up there, we were going up to the city. You know, we were going to the big city. That's where my uncle lived and my aunt. They lived up in Midland. My grandfather had a brother in Odessa, a brother in Midland, family all over there. And man, when we left Fort Stockton and went to Odessa, man, we were going to the big city. My grandfather was funny. He would, you know, when you get close to a city, you know, you start getting into the hustle and bustle of everything. See how there's nothing here, you know. We're driving on the road for an hour and a half, the way my grandfather drives. And finally, you know, when you get into the city, you start seeing everything. So whenever that happened, whenever we'd start getting into the city, my grandfather, "Now, boys, be quiet. I gotta pay attention." Well, he thought you'd think you were driving through downtown Houston or something. He turned the radio off. No more radio. Alright, we need to trim this up. We're still dropping. So I'm going to hang about 3,000, 3,500. Getting close. We got to deliver this aircraft in one piece. I hope I can land it nice and smooth. I need to look, where is, oh, 60, okay, so we can go a little bit faster and land in this plane. That Cessna 172, about 52, this one, according to this right here, if you use this, 60 is where that bar starts, 60. So add, you know, you can go about 72. Okay, we need to contact the airport and announce. We're at 3,500 right here.
7 Tango, 7 traffic.
Now let's follow traffic patterns report. So let's get back on our traffic pattern.
3,500 inbound to land. Runway 16, 7 Tango 7.
I'm going to reduce throttle just a little bit. We still may not get into town here, this airport where I'm going. It could be, it looks like it could be out in the middle of nowhere. So I don't think we'll be flying over the big city. I think it's over there or somewhere. I mean, they got a few tall buildings, but no, like skyscrapers and all that junk. Coming into Midland from Fort Stockton. Boy, my grandfather would sure love to take this trip. If I flew him. Hey, you want to fly up to Midland? Go see Luann? That was his sister. Luann and Drudan, they were twins. Alright, let's start turning. As you can see, we need to hit our marker. Now right here we'll be flying directly over the airfield up here. They always have you fly over about 3,000 feet. See, right underneath us we'll be flying over the, this is a normal pattern. See, the planes come in down low from either side, so we can fly over the middle like this, and it's not, you know, you won't crash into any other planes. This is a normal pattern in an airport. They'll have different, slightly different ones at different airports. As you can see, they want us to fly over, make a figure 8, and come back and land. Anybody from Midland, Odessa, West Texas? Anywhere in West Texas, Fort Stockton? Comment. Tell me where you're from. I grew up right where we took off, Fort Stockton. So it was really cool to fly from Fort Stockton to Midland. Look, we got us a little highway under. I wonder what highway it is. I do not know. It's got traffic on it. So cool. Alright, we're going to start making a slow turn around. That is certainly West Texas right there. Tell me your favorite part of West Texas. Look at that. This is Comanche country. A band of Comanches on their horses could see for miles. You were done if Comanches saw you, caught you out here in this country. Done, son. Okay, we're about 3,400. Keep on coming around. Keep on bringing it around. Looks like a caliche pit. Anybody know what a caliche pit is? Probably don't if you're not from West Texas. Alright, got a little turbulent air here. As we get down low, you'll get that in West Texas. You'll see dust devils all over out here. Little dust devils. That's the convection of the ground, hot and air mixing and making the air do weird things. I can certainly feel it if we go out here and look. See my plane dance around. See how it's, see that? See how it's moving around? Alright. Start making this big U-turn. This is, we're coming in for final. Nice little road. Wonder what road that is below us. I'm gonna lower engine speed a little bit more. Big U-turn around here. Nice. Okay. Let's get lined up here. go. Gotta really pay attention. Announce. Now, we can drop some flaps.
7 Tango, 7
Flaps help keep you
1416 is on
up in the
fire.
air while you go slower.
16 to land, 7 Tango 7.
We're going good speed right here. We can drop. Reduce speed all the way. Come in nice and soft here. Slow her down. Nope. Keep going. Wasn't the best landing in the world, but we didn't crash it. We delivered his plane. First time I think I've driven this plane, this type of plane. Announce.
7 Tango, 7 traffic. Diamond November 81416 is taxiing to parking, 7 Tango 7.
They got away from me. Maybe the guy wasn't here and he didn't see me. Well, that was an alright landing. Landed a little long. Went a little further than I wanted. This thing parked. I don't see this guy. Where is he?
Welcome to
There's the
Midland.
plane.
Hope this trip was a walk
Welcome
in
to
the park.
Midland.
Anyway, I appreciate your professionalism. My DA-40NG is finally here, and I thank you for that.
No problem. Well, he didn't bitch at us. Let's shut this puppy down. There it is. There's your plane, sir. How much money are you gonna give me? Let's see how they rate me. Landing smoothness, 67. Everything went perfectly during this flight, 100%. Just not the best landing. Respect the condition of the aircraft, 98%. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see how much I got paid. Base income. Employee commission. See, no skip bonus. You skip, you don't. I would have lost out on $3,000. Bad weather bonus? Yeah, see, that was turbulent, I told you. They call that bad weather. Alright. Need to get my reputation up. Need to start landing better. But I got 100%.
How is your pilot career going? Looks like you're growing faster than I could have imagined. I think it's time to introduce you to the freelance world.
Alright.
Let's talk business.
Alright.
This is the overview. From here you'll be able to quickly summarize the progress of your own companies. Once you start your first business, this will be your first port of call to keep track of everything.
I can start my own business. And then I can overcharge everybody. Maybe. Well, I don't know if I'm ready to start creating a company yet. I mean, I guess I could. I don't know.
But to start a new company, you firstly need to buy a company license.
Okay.
Being your own boss can be rewarding, more income from each successful mission, and the ability to buy and customize your own fleet of aircraft.
Sweet.
But those pros come with more responsibilities. If you own the aircraft, you're responsible for all maintenance fees.
Oh, yeah.
And if you crash, the aircraft is lost.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. A lot of responsibility when you own your own business flying aircraft. Man.
So what do you want to do? Don't worry if you're not ready. You can always come back here when you've made more progress and more licenses are available.
I got you, buddy. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Benjamin. Yeah, I have a lot more growing to do there, Ben. I got a lot more training classes to do. I appreciate the offer, you know. I just think you're trying to get money out of me. I just don't, you know. This is one of them scam deals, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it, but I'll look it over. But like I said, I still got a lot of training to do, and you know, some other areas I can grow in. So we'll have to talk later, buddy. So we'll see. But here we go. We can eligible companies. I can start a flight seeing company. See, right now I can get hired. I can do jobs. I can do these jobs. These are the jobs I'm doing. Skydiving and flight seeing. You take people and they, you know, take pictures and stuff. But this is saying I can start my own company myself instead of just working for somebody. So that's something we could do in the future there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the flight. Next time we'll go somewhere new and exciting and different. Maybe it'll be your hometown, like we did on my hometown. Till then, keep flying.